And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tailgate Tuesday. Welcome to Talladega Superspeedway for the Sugar Dega 250. Live on NASCAR Heat 5, live right here on the NOSSCAR Series Racing YouTube channel. Folks, we have a special showdown for you today. As you can see, 23 trucks rocking and rolling here at Talladega in Stage 1. Only 6 laps remaining, and they're hungry for stage points. We are in the round of 8 for the playoffs. And 8 of these drivers come into this race with a shot to win the championship this year. Beam SKP, the lone full-time driver out of France, won the pole for this race. We have a big wreck on the front straightaway. This might draw a caution. We've already seen one caution for an on-track incident in this race.
Green so far.
And yes, we are. It's Rumble Strip, I believe, leading the race. It is, with the 20 truck just behind him in hot pursuit, along with Stephen Corley in the 3rd position. I'm NOSSCAR CEO Tyler McMurder, alongside my 2 in-race reporters, Cameron Norton, the driver of the number 3 Chevy Silverado, and Alex Tesdall, driver of the Ford F-150, number 98. And both of them having a good run up in the top 10. At least Cameron was in the top 10 until that skirmish we saw a moment ago. Thanks a bunch to both of you for joining me.
No problem.
And we have an excellent showdown here, folks. And as I mentioned, 8 drivers have a shot to win the championship here still. We've already burned one race in the round of 8, and it was won by a non-playoff driver who stole the show. So evident all of these drivers are still not locked in to the Final 4. Nick Donfrancesco, Jesse Carlson, they come into this race 50 and 27 points above the cut line. There we see Jesse Carlson in the 88. He's lost the draft with the lead pack, but 27 points to the good for him is what's really helping him coming into this race. There's Nick Donfrancesco in the 24, regular season champion, 50 points to the good, coming into Talladega tonight with 2 races left in the round of 8. But of course, this is kind of the wild card of the race, if you will. Beam SKP won the pole for this race. Right now, currently running in the 6th position. He led every lap up until the very first caution of the race, and he lost the lead due to some strategy on pit road with some of the front runners. He comes into this race 7 points above that cut line for the Final 4. A little deeper in the field here, we find Alex Tesdall, one of our 2 in-race reporters. He comes into this race 3 points to the good above that cut line, trying to make the Final 4, and he's off to a great start. He's running in 5th. That would give him 1 point here for stage points, and he would be then 4 points to the good because Jeffrey Robinson Jr. is running in the 7th position and not going to be getting any points if it all holds station now. That is, it changes every lap, and we'll try our best to keep everybody fully updated on how the playoff drivers are doing. There's Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51, comes into this race 3 points below the cut line to make the Final 4. Jordan Roughton in the 17 comes into this race 4 points below the cut line. Recently found victory lane in the NASCAR Platinum Cup Series at Kansas Speedway just a couple of nights ago, Friday night. So he's on a roll here. Momentum is on Jordan Roughton's side, that's for sure. And we will skip 4 laps to go here in Stage 1, and we're going to skip here to Timmy Brown in the 8 truck. Comes into this race 8 points below that Final 4 cut line. He's in the lead pack, and there's about 12 trucks in this lead group that are all still going to have a shot to get up there and win this stage. Kind of looks like the second group is forming and catching them. They might go to the outside here, and they do. At least a couple of them did. It kind of looked like Jordan Roughton might have actually been the only one that did. He gained a couple of positions out of the deal, and then he tucked back in line, and he's now inside the top 10. Only driver that was stuck up there was Beam SKP, the pole sitter, in the number 16 Toyota Tundra. We have 3 laps to go, if I'm not mistaken, and we have 2 non-playoff drivers leading the race. Actually, we have 3 drivers out front that are non-playoff drivers. Armstrong in the 15 running in 4th. He was eliminated in the round of 12. Made the round of 8 for the Motormaster Series playoffs, though, and it looks like Rumble Strips in the 44 got pinched below the yellow line. Doesn't look like anybody's going to let him back up onto the track anytime soon, and that's a shame for him. Either that or he's got a tire going down and he just wanted to get out of everybody's way. I'm really not too sure, but this gives the lead to Jackson Stotts in the number 20 Chevy Silverado. They're coming out of turn 4 looking for the white flag. Stephen Corley giving him one heck of a push, and the number 99 Steel Horse Motorsports Ford has got to win this season. Surrendered his playoffs. 2 laps remaining in the stage. He surrendered his playoff spot could not make the playoffs. He didn't think at the time, and now he's been able to make it on a part-time basis, but he's kind of wishing he didn't give it up, because there he is, having a good run here at Talladega, and he's had a couple of other good runs during the postseason as well. And that number 99 Ford F-150, he's got Armstrong still right behind him in third. Alex Tesdall, the highest running round of 8 playoff driver right now, and he's scored in the 4th position. Jordan Roughton going with him, he's in 5th. Brett Baker in the 2 truck is the one scored in 6th, and Brett Baker's the 8th and final round of 8 driver, 25 points below the cut line, pretty much in a must-win situation at this point, is the driver of the 2 truck. White flag this time by. And there it is. See, it's going to get interesting here because some of these drivers have nothing to lose. There's nothing on the line for Jackson Stotts, Stephen Corley, Jason Armstrong. They have either not advanced or made the playoffs, or they were eliminated in the round of 12 in Armstrong's case, and so they're going to go for it. Kind of looks like Armstrong is slowing down a bit, might be trying to get a big run here with the 98 of Alex Tesdall. The question is, does he go with him? And here comes Timmy Brown in the 8 truck on the outside with a big push from Beam SKP. They gained a couple of positions as they worked through 3 and 4. Armstrong pulled out. Nobody went with him. He has a huge run, though. He's actually going to draw even with the leader for a moment there. Now he's going to draw even with the driver in 2nd, Stephen Corley. Armstrong looking for 3rd in this stage, and he's going to get it. Jackson Stotts is going to get the stage win. Highest finishing round of 8 playoff driver in stage 1 is Alex Tesdall in 4th, I believe, and we'll throw it down to the driver of the number 98 Ford F-150 for the top 5 from stage 1.
Little Baba, Diesel, Armstrong, myself, and Brett Baker.
And let's throw it down to our other in-race reporter, Cameron Norton, the driver of the 3, finished in the top 10 there in stage 1. How's the truck feeling? What's the vibe like out there?
Just chilling, you know. The truck feels really good. We just need help. Honestly, we got a truck to do it. We just can't seem to get our help. So we're just going to have to create the runs, use the side drafts, but I'm just going to have to create the runs by myself if I ain't getting no help.
Yeah, we saw a few drivers make some bold moves there, had very little help or none, so they didn't advance their position too much. And speaking of advancing their position, Beam SKP is going to retake the race lead. He won the pole for this event, and he's going to lead them to the line for the beginning of stage 2. And he didn't get any stage points in stage number 1. The only driver really that has a shot to maybe point their way in at this point that did get points in stage 1 was Alex Tesdall. That puts him 5 points above the final 4 cut line as we run. Oh, Armstrong wiggled, got Alex Tesdall really out of shape there. They're stacked up 3 and 4 wide. They might be wrecking on the back straightaway. There's contact made. More trucks are going around. I was going to say, amazingly, nobody ultimately parked it, but we do still have a caution. The 22 of Tanner Swaley deeper in the field hit the wall heavy, and so did Rumblestrip in the 44. So we have our 3rd caution of the race for an on-track incident here in the Sugar Dega 250. And folks, there's a lot on the line here. 2nd race in the round of 8, but it's arguably the most important. You can win. Your hopes of winning the championship can be won or lost here today at Talladega Superspeedway. One of those wild card races. We could see anything here today. Everyone's got a shot to win. For example, Brett Baker could go out there and win and advance his way in and bump a driver that is right now above the cut line, below that cut line. It's just one scenario that could take place here today. "23 drivers entered, and all 23 of them still on the lead lap of the shot to win here at Talladega. And we've seen a few different leaders at this point, and now we're going to see the lead change hands to Jason Armstrong in the 15. There was some strategy deployed there on the pit stops, as usual, and he's going to lead them to the line. We are green again here at Talladega. 4th annual season for the NOSSCAR Tailgate Truck Series started back on NASCAR Heat 2. Here we are on NASCAR Heat 5, and we've crowned 3 champions so far. We're going to crown a 4th this season. There's a couple of trucks getting a little out of shape deeper in the field. The 52, I believe, was one of them. He made contact with the 22 of Tanner Swaley, who went down and hit the wall heavy. The 74 of Bo was involved.
Yellow.
And we have another caution on the racetrack. We're going to slow him down again. And a couple of the trucks deeper in the field are what caused that one. Kind of look like Bo and the 74. And I believe that the 22 of Tanner Swaley as well. Here you see the front end damage to the 74 machine. Full-time driver in NASCAR on Gran Turismo Sport. He's got a couple of top fives with us over in the NASCAR GT Cup Series so far on Gran Turismo Sport. And he just hasn't got the results he's been hoping for here in NASCAR Heat 5. Very different element over here, very different graphics and physics engine. And there we see the damage on Tanner Swaley as well. The front end of the 22 Silverado all smashed in. He'll need to come to pit road for some repairs, as will the 44 machine of Rumble Strip. Into the restart zone they go. 23 NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series drivers at Talladega. The green flag has been shown. You can only fit 32 in a race for the NASCAR, for a Truck Series race on NASCAR Heat 5. So there's very few open spots for this one. We brought a full roster. Everybody knows that they have a shot to win, so they brought their A game. They were testing together and practicing together before this race here tonight. And we've seen a number of different leaders so far throughout the opening laps. Stage 1 is in the history books. We're working Stage 2. Armstrong is your leader with Jackson Stotts giving him one heck of a push on the bottom. Brett Baker, Cameron Norton, Scorpion in the 52. Another driver from France. And the full-time driver from France, Beam SKP, the playoff driver, just behind him in the 16. That's the inside line. Alex Tesdall, Jordan Roughton, Nick Don Francesco, Dogman. And they're all working the outside line along with Stephen Corley, Timmy Brown, and a few others. 3 and 4 wide for the race lead. Brett Baker all the way to the bottom. A couple of drivers went down to shut the door when they knew that they were clear. And it's Alex Tesdall in the 98 machine to the race lead. Jordan Roughton went with him. He advances to the second position. Brett Baker in third. Cameron Norton in fourth. The 40 machine of Trey Hollywood runs in fifth. In race reporters both up there in the top 5, and we have a round of 8 playoff driver leading the race, and we have a round of 8 playoff driver running in second and third. Alex Tesdall, Jordan Roughton, and Brett Baker. And keep in mind, Brett Baker running in third in the 2 truck. He's in a must-win situation. It's very doubtful that he's going to point his way in. 25 points below the cut line coming into this race. Now 27, as Alex Tesdall has 2 points from stage 1.
Time to go.
So he very well might be needing a victory here, either today or tonight at Martinsville, or right now at Talladega. Heard it from Cameron Norton a moment ago. 9 laps to go in stage 2. Top 5 get stage points. So a lot of these drivers trying to maybe position themselves up in the top 5 to capitalize on that. They need these points, a lot of these playoff drivers. Some of the drivers outside the top 5 trying to use the outside line whenever they get a big run, but if they don't have enough help, they tend to get held out there, and they lose a few different positions and get freight trained. We just saw Scorpion in the 52 lose a handful of positions because he got stuck to the outside. Jesse Carlson made it 3 wide with him a moment ago, and they're still trying to battle their way back to the bottom. This is all going on just at about the cutoff line for the top 10 here. The second group of trucks is starting to reel in the front group. The 45 of Ayrton Frederick is leading that second group of trucks, and there's a couple of playoff drivers in that second group that really need this to work out for them, and here they come. They got a heck of a run. The first truck that they're going to catch is the 51 of Jeffrey Robinson Jr., another one of our round of 8 playoff drivers. They got to him. Ayrton's actually going to go to the bottom. Somehow Jeffrey opened the door just enough, and he's going to get held out to dry. You can see the number 51 Toyota Tundra up there all alone, and he's going to drop out of the top 10. These drivers are good to the end of the stage on the fuel and the tires that they have. And at this point, they're just trying to be careful. They're trying not to leave too much of an opening to the inside, because if another driver gets there, it's on, and they might they might be stuck to the outside and they might drop all the way outside of the top 10. There's a lot of trucks in this lead group, so if you get held out there on the outside, you're going to lose a number of positions. They're all staying tightly formed too, very glued to each other. Jordan Roughton right there in second in the 17, chasing Alex Tesdall. The top three are round of 8 playoff drivers, and then you have Beam SKP running in the 7th position in the 16. As well as Nick Don Francesco in the 24 running in 9th. And Josh Colm Diaz in the 23 running in 12th. Jesse Carlson in the 88 running in 15th. Just trying to give you a bit of a give you an update on where some of the round of 8 playoff drivers are running at this time. Some of them have lost touch with the lead group. Timmy Brown in the 8 truck is outside of the top 15. Comes into this race 8 points below that playoff cut line. Excuse me, the round of 4 championship cut line. And all is looking good for the 98 of Alex Tesdall. See if we can find him here. A lot of trucks on the racetrack, and there you see him. He became the 11th driver to become a NOSSCAR Triple Crown winner, holding a win in the Cup Series, the Motormaster Series, and here in the Tailgate Truck Series. And he might be well on his way to getting another. And we have a caution on the racetrack. Did it end the stage?
No caution.
Oh, what did you say then?
Rick? It says 5 to go.
Oh, okay. My apologies, folks. We have 5 laps remaining here in stage 2. And I'm going to continue what I was saying. Alex Tesdall, 11th driver to become a Triple Crown winner here in NOSSCAR, and he's well on his way to perhaps getting another one. It's huge for him right now to be on the streak that he's on. It's playoff time. He was more surprised that he didn't have more wins in the Truck Series than he was having 2 wins in the Motormaster Series. He expected to be better in trucks than he was Motormaster, and it was kind of the opposite for quite some time. But he's really come to life here in the Truck Series. He was recently eliminated in the round of 8 for the Motormaster playoffs, and here he is with a shot to advance to the Final 4 in the Tailgate Truck Series. Cameron Norton in the 3 just took the 2nd position away from Jordan Roughton to break up the round of 8 playoff driver party that we had up here. Brett Baker has also dropped outside of the top 5 as well. Whoa, regular season champion, the 24, Nick Don Francesco, got forced, I believe, below the yellow line. A couple of trucks moved up to let him back onto the racetrack, but a few of them are now going to be stuck on the outside, and they might lose a couple of positions. There's about 15 trucks in this lead group. And I think that if you're at the tail of this pack, you're trying to slowly work your way forward one at a time, either by getting your nose to the inside of somebody in front of you or getting a good run, getting around them on the outside and clearing them in time so you can get back to the inside and not lose any positions and get stuck up there. And if you're at the front, I think that you just kind of want to hang tight until the last lap and then make a big move to try to take the stage win. We have a truck wrecking over here coming out of turn 2, and it looks like it was maybe Jordan Green in the 00 and the 52 machine of Scorpion, but we're going to stay green, it looks like. And we're coming to 2 laps to go in stage number 2. Masterful job so far by the driver of the number 98 for Steel Horse Motorsports, and that is Alex Tesdall, leading the race here. We've seen a number of different leaders in this race: Beam SKP, Alex Tesdall, Jason Armstrong. We've seen a lot of different drivers go out there and lead the charge. But it's Talladega. Everybody's got a shot. The draft is really key here, and a lot of these drivers are making bold moves to get some track position here. Here comes the outside line. Jordan Roughton in the 17 getting a big push from Brett Baker in the 2, and Jesse Carlson in the 88. That's 3 round of 8 playoff drivers, and they came with a big swing of momentum. Dogman in the 13 thought about going up there with him, and then he tucked back in line down on the bottom. Brett Baker in the 2 got down as quick as he could as well. It was Jordan Roughton that got held out to dry, and Cameron Norton trying to get to the inside of Alex Tesdall. He was almost there, and I believe we're on the last lap.
Yes, sir.
Whew. Down the back straightaway. They go. Top 5 get the stage points. This is going to be key, folks, and some of these drivers really need them. They're in the playoffs. Brett Baker in 3rd. Alex Hesdahl leading the race here. Beam in the 16 truck just went up and found the outside wall a little bit. He's going to lose a couple of positions because of that. Cameron Norton also got shuffled out of the line. Down the front stretch for the final time in stage 2. Is anybody going to pull out? Ayrton Frederick does in the 45. He's got help, or does he? Armstrong's going to go with him in the 15, and to the line it is Alex Hesdahl winning stage 2. They were 3 and 4 wide from about 3rd or 4th on back. Coming to the end of the stage, what a race it was for the stage 2 points. We'll throw it down this time to Cameron Norton to get the top 5 from stage 2.
Shadow, Diesel, Brett Baker, Ayrton, and Dogman.
And we'll throw it over to Alex Hesdahl. Alex, you just won the stage, buddy. You've got 7 points tonight from the stages alone. You came into tonight, 3 points above the cut line? So now, what do you got here? So that means you're 10 points above the cut line, because Jeffrey Robinson Jr. did not get any stage points, neither did Beam, SKP. How are you feeling?
A lot more comfortable now we've got them stage points.
Absolutely. I really don't blame you for that. And we're coming up here for the final stage. Shadow's in good shape. Alex Hesdahl with a big night so far here at Talladega. Can he pull it off? Can he win and lock himself into the final 4? We're going to find out. The green flag has been shown to these drivers, and we're rocking and rolling again here at Talladega Superspeedway. 3 races left until we crown a champion. Next Tuesday, folks, tune in. The race begins at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and by about 9:30 that night, we will know who our 2021 NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series champion is. Brett Baker in the 2 just got out of shape there. A couple of trucks got stacked up behind him. They're 3 and 4 wide as they go down the back straightaway. They're still bouncing off each other. Jesse Carlson went up and turned right into Beam SKP in the 16, and the caution has come out. How many laps to go?
51.
Oh, geez. And so with 51 laps to go, and you're going to restart with probably about 48 laps to go because they burn a few here when you go under caution. You guys are still going to need to make a number of green flag pit stops if you end up getting a long green flag run. These drivers only getting about 13 to 15 laps on fuel, depending on if they're in the pack saving or if they're out front of a pack and on the throttle all the way around this racetrack. And so we'll definitely see some green flag pit stops if we get the long green flag run here. But so far, we've seen a couple of cautions here and there, and we get to see those green flag pit stops.
Don't mind getting up. Cam, they're close in front. Did I lag there?
Yeah. It looked like there was a big lag push.
To the restart zone and across the start-finish line, we are green. The Sugar Dega 250 back underway and back under green. Final stage time, 48 laps to go. These drivers rocking and rolling 2 and 3 wide. You can see Trenton Krentz in the 18 is really trying to get that outside line to work. He's got his teammate Jeffrey Robinson Jr. going with him. A couple of trucks getting a little bit loose deeper in the field, but other than that, we've seen pretty good here so far as we go down the back straightaway. 23 trucks in this race, and we're giving it their all here as if it's the final lap. They were 4 wide going into turn 3 that time by Jordan Green, Jeffrey Robinson Jr., Trenton Krentz, and Rumble Strips, and a couple of others. Alex Hesdahl leads. Dogman in the 13 is running in 2nd. The regular season champion Nick Don Francesco runs in 3rd. Ayrton Frederick in 4th. Trey Hollywood running in 5th. Stephen Corley, Timmy Brown, Cameron Norton, Scorpion, and Jason Armstrong, the rest of the top 10. To the outside line went Timmy Brown in the 8 truck. No help for him, though. He's one of the round of 8 playoff drivers. Came into tonight 8 points below the cut line and now 15 below the cut line now that Alex Hesdahl has claimed 7 stage points. So he's getting closer and closer to being in a must-win situation, as some of these other drivers are as well. So Timmy really looking for some speed up on the outside and looking for help from anyone that will. Armstrong's the one right behind him, and Cameron Norton just got a little out of shape there. So did Rumble Strips. Bo in the 74 just put the 44 of Rumble Strips in the wall, and then Bo spun and hit the wall shortly after. Still green, still rocking and rolling here. A lot of these drivers wanted that. I think that once the long green flag run opens up here, it also opens up the door for some strategy, and we also see who the very best Superspeedway drivers are. They'll slowly work their way forward. 10 trucks have broken out here in the front pack, and then it's another 9 trucks in the second group that are trying to stay with them, and they're right there. And I think that the 52 is actually going to catch them. It's only about a truck length behind, and now he's there, so this will make it a 19 truck pack, all within about 2 seconds of each other, and they're all chasing Alex Tesdall in the 98. Highest running round of 8 playoff drivers are running in first and third. Alex in the 98, Nick in the 24. And then you got to go back to Timmy Brown and Jordan Roughton. They're running in 7th and 8th. They're also round of 8 playoff drivers. Brett Baker, Jesse Carlson, Beam SKP, Jeffrey Robinson Jr. They're outside of the top 10, but they're still in this group, and so anything can happen. They can get a couple of good runs and pass a couple of trucks. They can get up there and put themselves in a position to get a good finish, get as many points as they can. The stages are in the history books. There's no more getting stage points. It's all about getting the best finish you possibly can at the end of this race. And how about Dogman making his debut here in the NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series? It's a pretty good track to do that. Anything can happen here. It's a wild card race, and so if you're trying to come out and win your debut race, it's not a bad pick, really, because everyone's got a shot here, and right now he's doing a great job. He's helping his teammate just in front of him, and that's Alex Tesdall in the 98. Kind of looks like Nick Don Francesco, the driver in third. The orange and black Chevy Silverado is maybe lifting a bit to get a run on these guys. Here he comes. Is it a good enough run? Maybe not. Could be maybe just lifting a little bit to save the fuel and the tires a bit. Timmy Brown has just worked his way into the 5th position in that number 8 Ford F-150, one of the round of 8 playoff drivers, and he was able to get around Ayrton Frederick to do that. Jordan Roughton tried to go with him, but the door was closed just in time. So Jordan running in 7th, Timmy Brown up in the 5th position. Round of 8 playoff drivers running in 1st, 3rd, 5th, and 7th. Brett Baker, Jesse Carlson, Jeffrey Robinson Jr., Beam SKP, they're still outside the top 10, but in this lead group. Well, now's as good a time as any, folks. It's been a bit of a tradition lately for the Motormaster Mondays and for the Tailgate Truck Tuesdays. We are going to crank it up, turn the volume knob sky high, and enjoy the sound of these trucks on NASCAR Heat 5. It is playoff action at Talladega Superspeedway, the second race in the round of 8. And after tonight, after the Martinsville race after this, we will know who the final 4 drivers are. And we'll know who's challenging and competing for the championship next week at Phoenix. But for now, enjoy the action at Talladega. We're going to take a break from commentary and do a good old-fashioned crank it up. And crank it down, folks. We're going to bring it back to full commentary. We saw the outside line forming, and we had a huge battle for the lead a moment ago, but Beam SKP, something has happened to him over on the front straightaway. Heavy front-end damage to the Toyota Tundra of one of the round of 8 playoff drivers. He came into this race 7 points above the final 4 cut line, and now he's got front-end damage after winning the pole here at Talladega, leading a lot of laps here. And that's a heartbreaker. No stage points for him either, so nothing really to fall back on if he doesn't get a good finish. He kind of needs a caution to save him at this point. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead looks like this. Nick Francesco has taken the top spot. Trey Hollywood just behind him. Jordan Roughton, Alex Tesdahl, Jackson Stotts, the top 5. Round of 8 playoff drivers running 1st, 3rd, 4th, and 6th at this point. Brett Baker in the 2, scored in the 6th position right there with him. Stephen Corley in the 99, behind him in 7th. Cameron Norton in 8th. And Timmy Brown is another round of 8 playoff driver running in the 10th position. So 5 round of 8 contenders are in the top 10 and looking for good points here. Jesse Carlson, Jeffrey Robinson Jr., they're in this lead group, just barely outside of the top 10. In 11th and 12th, actually 13th and 14th. 14 trucks in this lead group, and Alex Tesdahl in the 98 just had a big lag moment, and the entire field has come together over in turns 3 and 4, and this is definitely going to draw a caution.
I had a front row seat to that one.
Man, that was crazy. I could tell it was definitely a connection spike there by the 98. I could tell because even on my screen he jumped back. I guess if you're streaming, it might be a good time to cut it. I don't know. Or if you have Wi-Fi on, several devices, maybe turn that off. I have no idea because that was bad, and apparently that's not the first time. Well, we have a caution here at Talladega Superspeedway. How many laps do we have remaining, Cameron?
We just went to the deck screen. Give me 1 second.
Ah, okay, no problem. And we'll get an update for everybody here in a moment on how many laps remaining in the Sugar Dega 250. After tonight, we have our final 4 drivers list, and here they come to the restart zone.
We have about 33 laps to go.
You heard it, folks. Yes, sir. 33 to go and 14 lap fuel runs as well. So if this thing stays green for a while, we're definitely seeing a number of green flag pit stops. But it's been an action-packed race, and we haven't went too far under green without having a yellow and stacking them back up like we see right now. And it gives everybody a shot to get back up there and contend for the lead and for these points, especially Beam SKP. He was going to go a lap down eventually with the damage that he had, and now he's back in this lead group in that 16 Toyota Tundra, and they're 2 by 2 through 3 and 4, and it's Trey Hollywood in the 40 truck leading the way with Jordan Roughton, Jesse Carlson, Cameron Norton, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and they're 3 wide for the 5th position. Timmy Brown in the 8 truck is going to stay to the bottom and use the draft, and he's going to take P5. Jordan Green, Tanner Swaley, Dogman, Scorpion, and Alex Tesdahl, the rest of the top 10. Stephen Corley in the 99 right there. Getting a little bit wiggly just in front of some of these drivers. Josh Colin-Diaz had to lift. They all did a good job through there. They're 3 wide still as they come into turn 2. The outside line is really not working right now. There's not too many trucks up there to make it happen, and it forced Brett Baker and Nick Francesco, and Armstrong for that matter, to the tail of this pack and behind the 51 of Jeffrey Robinson Jr. And man, that's a shame. Good thing is he's still in the draft. Whoa, big wiggle there for Jordan Green. I think there might have been contact with another truck. Jordan looking to get back onto the race surface. They're letting him back up there. Oh, or were they? I think Jordan went through the grass thinking they weren't letting him back on. He's still there in the pack, sort of. He might be able to get a drafting partner to get back up in it. We've seen a number of different leaders in this race. And right now we've seen Trey Hollywood in the 40 truck show his stuff a little bit, flex his muscle. He's got the lead. His good buddy Jordan Roughton just behind him in the 17. Jesse Carlson up in 3rd, might be the highest he's run all race long. We have round of 8 contenders running 2nd, 3rd, and 5th. Timmy Brown in the 8 truck all the way up into 5th, having a good day. And they're getting a little bit stacked up here from about 6th on back. Looked like Tanner Swaley tried to make a move on Timmy Brown. Had to lift, and one had to grab a handful of steering wheel, maybe even tap the brake a little bit on that one. Everyone's still in good shape and in the lead draft. There's about 17 trucks in this lead group. They're catching a lap truck just in front of them. But other than that, all is well for these drivers. They know that they have a shot to win this thing still. As long as you're in the lead draft, in the final stage, you have a shot to park in a victory lane in one of these super speedway races, and we've been talking about it all week long. Could you imagine if one of these underdog drivers entering the round of 8 had a chance to win this race and punch their ticket into the final 4 and bump out one of these drivers that entered with a lot of playoff points? It would be something if maybe a Timmy Brown or a Jesse Carlson could go up there and win this race and take one of these spots. Kind of looks like everybody's being careful at this point. Nobody really wanting to step out of line and chance it. It's a little early. About 29 laps remaining here at Talladega. They're clicking off pretty quickly here. Everyone knows that's an eternity at these super speedway races. Oh, Tanner in the 22 made a move to the outside. There was contact made between he and Timmy Brown in the 8. More contact made there with the 20 and the 13. They went sliding to the inside. I don't believe this is going to draw a caution. And that's a tough break for two non-playoff drivers. Really hurt their chances of winning this event. 2 drivers that had been up there in the top 3 at one point. Jackson Stotts and Dogman. But yeah, as Alex Tesdahl mentioned, we are still green. Cameron Norton with a bold move to the outside, then thought better of it, got back down to the bottom in a hurry. Timmy Brown in the 8 truck is stuck out there with no help. He's going to lose a number of positions. And now some of the round of 8 contenders are coming to life, folks. The 16 of Beam, 51 of Jeffrey Robinson Jr., the 98 of Alex Tesdahl. They're starting to work their way back to the front and at the right time of the race. Beam now all the way back up into the 6th position after getting caught up in that wreck and having a whole bunch of front end damage that he needed to repair. Restarted that in about 20th position and has been able to work his way all the way back into 6th, just in front of Alex Tesdahl and the 98, who got the most stage points out of all the round of 8 playoff contenders. Oh, contact there between the 16 and the 3. I don't think it was intentional. The 16 lifts, lets the 3 get back in front of him, and that could have been big, but it wasn't because of 2 very talented drivers that held on to it. How about Jesse Carlson all the way up into the 3rd position? He's got, Cameron Norton in the 3, making a big move to the outside. And he's got a big head of steam. He's actually going to draw even with the race leader of Trey Hollywood. Jordan Roughton is going to give a big push now to the 40 to keep Trey Hollywood out front. Cameron Norton didn't have any help there. He almost was able to get up there and clear all of these trucks and tuck back in line down on the bottom, but he didn't quite have the speed to do it. It's hard to pull off when you have absolutely no help. Now Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51 going up to the top to see if he can make it work. But now Cameron in the 3 tucks back down low. There just never seems to be enough trucks in the outside line at a time to get that line to work. And Stephen Corley got a little bit out of shape down there. Had to chase it below the yellow line. Cameron Norton picks up a position there. That's the good thing about the 44 of rumble strips. I don't know what happened there, but he turned right and went to the outside wall. Contact was made with the wall there, but he saves it. He's going to lose a couple of positions because now he's out of line, but man, that was pretty wild looking. Normally that would be a tire going down, and normally that would happen in the turns, but man, that was interesting. It's been a wild day for Nick Donfrancesco in the 24, the regular season champion, 7 wins this season. Another lag spike by Alex Tesdahl, more front end damage to the 24, and now he's dropping back a little bit here. Still in the lead group, but might have a little bit of front end damage he needs to repair on the next pit stop. And it just seems like little ones here and there from the 98 truck, and then it goes back to normal. And contact was made there with the 98 and the 99. Stephen Corley went down below the yellow line to try to make a pass, and Alex didn't like that. There was dooring on the back straightaway. They all held on to it miraculously, and the drivers in the round of 8 are running 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 7th. Jordan Roughton leading the charge amongst all the championship contenders. Jesse Carlson, Beam, SKP, they're right there with him. Alex Hesdahl, Brett Baker, Josh Colm-Diaz, they're in the top 10 as well. Remember, folks, Josh was eliminated in the round of 12, and it was a bit of a heartbreaking scenario. So many playoff points, 3 wins for him this season. It's still a successful season for him, but definitely not the way he wanted his playoffs to go. Whoa, there was some contact made there between he and Timmy Brown in the 8 truck. They both held on to it. That could have been big. Jason Armstrong in the 15 right there with them. And there's Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51, one of the round of 8 contenders, giving a push to another round of 8 contender, Brett Baker in the 2. They're keeping the inside line working so they can hold on to the position over Tanner Swaley, but then Tanner went to the bottom and was able to swiftly take that spot away from Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51. That was pretty slick, actually, by the 22. Nice move there. They're still all chasing non-playoff driver Trey Hollywood, who's looking for his first ever NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series win. First NASCAR win on a NASCAR Heat game as well. He's come close on a few different occasions, but maybe not ever this close. It's on a roll lately, though.
Pit stops are coming up.
Getting a report, the green flag scheduled pit stops are coming. We've had a long enough run here to the point where these drivers will need to consider coming to pit road here over the next couple of laps. We'll see if any takers this time by, and not in the lead group at least. They all stay rolling on the racetrack at full speed. They're going to put a lap on Ayrton Frederick in the 45. Veteran driver with wins here in the Tailgate Truck Series. Respectfully letting the lead group go by. I've been impressed with Trey Hollywood lately. He's been finishing in the top 5, left, right, and center here, not only in the Truck Series, but in the Motormaster Series and the Cup Series as well, no matter whether it's a road course or a short track, or apparently here at a Superspeedway either, because, yeah, he's been on quite the high roll of momentum here lately, and he's got the lead at Talladega in a very good time in the final stage with not very many laps remaining. Throw it down to the M-Race reporter, Cameron Norton, the driver of the 3. Cameron, we know the green flag pit stops are coming soon. How many laps to go, and what's the strategy from here, do you think?
21 laps left to go, and I think you take 4 tires, 2 cans of fuel, and just play the game. It's basically race time. No lifting at this point.
No doubt. And with 21 laps to go, and everyone has to pit here very soon, and I believe everyone's going to have to come again to pit road if it stays green the entire way to the rest of this race, all the way to the checkered. So we might see drivers come in for a 4-tire pit stop and then maybe a splash and go on that last one if the tires can hold. It'll be interesting, and it'll be interesting to see everybody enter pit road. It's always chaotic. There's always contact. There's always at least one driver that overdrives it, overshoots it, and needs to slam the brakes. Some other drivers are not quite ready for it. It can be chaotic at times, and there's a lot of championship contenders in this lead group that could pay the price for someone else's mistake. So we'll keep our eye on the lead group, knowing that the green flag pit stops are coming. We'll throw it down to the M-Race reporter, Alex Hesdahl, the driver of the 98. Alex, no one has more stage points today than you. You're looking pretty good, 10 points above the cut line. How's the truck feeling? And you're up in the top 5. What's the strategy from here on out with 20 to go?
Yeah, like you said, the truck's driving good, and I think it's going to stay in line and for a top 5 finish and point our way in.
So far, it's been looking good for you. Those 7 stage points are really going to add up for you, and if all hold station now, you would actually leapfrog yourself into 3rd in the point standings at the end of all of this, heading into Martinsville. We'll update everybody on the point standings at the top of the broadcast for Martinsville later on. And Trey Hollywood has actually got off the bottom somehow. and he's going to surrender the race lead to Jordan Roughton in the 17. Jesse Carlson going with him. We have a spinning Tanner Swaley in the 22 truck just behind them. He was in this lead group. Oh, and around goes Stephen Corley in the 99 as well. Man, chaos, and we haven't even seen the trucks peel down pit road quite yet. We know it's coming soon, but we just lost 2 non-playoff drivers from the lead group, and they're going to have damage to repair when they bring it to pit road. We stay green, and we have under 20 laps to go at Talladega.
I don't know when these drivers are going to come, but I think we all have the same feel, and it's going to be interesting.
My thoughts on the Superspeedways are always crazy.
My thoughts exactly, and yeah, I'm very interested to see how this is all going to go. Here we go, a whole fleet of drivers that almost looks like everybody in this lead group came to pit road, maybe with the exception of the 45 of Ayrton Frederick, but remember, he was 1 lap down. He might have actually already been to pit road for all we know. The entire lead pack is on pit road. Alex Tesdall down and away, so is Brett Baker, Cameron Norton, Timmy Brown, Trey Hollywood, Josh Colm-Diaz. They're all leaving pit road right now. Jesse Carlson got the best advantage out of them all. They're actually 3 wide leaving pit road on my screen. I know that that's not what's happening on theirs, but this is awesome. Watching this, they're actually drifting the corner on my screen. There we go, all is normal now. That was fun to watch, though. Not what was actually happening on the racetrack, folks. Just figured I would leave the camera there and let that happen. That was pretty cool. Kind of looked like we were dirt tracking at Talladega there for a moment. We'll throw it down to our in-race reporter, Alex Tesdall, to get an update on how many laps remaining and who the current race leader is.
The 16 is out front right now, and yeah.
Wow.
I think he's coming into the pits this time, though.
I think you're right. Yeah, well, maybe not. Beam actually is still on the racetrack here.
I'm thinking he took 2 tires. He's got a big lead.
He might have. Yeah, he does have a big lead. The problem is he's only got 1 dancing partner, and the pack that is trying to run him down right now, they're all grouped up with about 7 of them, so they're going to have a huge speed advantage. They might still run down the 16 of Beam, but what a nice strategy there. A good strategy call by the 16 team to get him some track position. And there he goes. Question is the 2-tire stop going to be the winning stop? We'll find out.
2 laps short.
Everyone's about 2 short?
About.
So far.
Oh man, that's interesting. Everyone's going to be about 2 laps short on fuel. Some drivers might be trying to save. Some drivers might just be giving it their all, pedal down to the floor. We'll have to see how this all works out. Beam does have a big lead, but like I said, that second group is catching them, I do believe. And this is the second group. It's being led by Jesse Carlson in the number 88. Jordan Roughton in the 17, Brett Baker in the 2. In fact, the top 5 right now on the racetrack are all round of 8 championship contenders. And then Timmy Brown right there as well, running in the 7th position, another round of 8 championship contenders. So that's 6 playoff drivers in the round of 8, all having a good day here at Talladega, including the race leader, Beam SKP. We'll keep an eye on all of this action if we can. There's the 20 truck. He was giving a push to the 16, but now he's actually lost touch with him. I don't know if that was on purpose or what, but that's going to allow that other group to catch him even quicker, I would think. It's going to be interesting. You can tell strategy is deployed here and unfolding. Some of these drivers might be lifting to save a little bit of fuel. And we saw Beam go with 2 tires to take the lead. All of these drivers here in this group, I believe, took 4. And that will help them if they need to come to pit road again, because they might be able to take none or maybe 2.
Ooh, there's a wreck.
Yes, there is. Brett Baker's around. Jordan Green had nowhere to go. There was contact with Brett and another truck. That's how it started.
Wasn't a yellow.
I can't believe it wasn't a caution, and that's a heartbreaker for Jordan Green. He was up there in that second group in the top 10, and now he's got a little bit of front-end damage, and he's got no drafting help right now.
The other car was Napa.
Stephen Corley off the track rather, and out of the race in the 99 truck. He had a shot to win this race at one point, so I didn't see what happened there, but tough break for him as well, for another non-playoff driver that came in with only one goal, and that was to win. So it's Beam SKP leading, round of 8 contender, full-time driver from France, driver of the number 16 Toyota Tundra, and then it's Jordan Roughton in the 17, running in second, another round of 8 driver, and so is Alex Tesdall in the 98, he runs in third, and then it's Cameron Norton, driver who was eliminated in the round of 12, driving the 3, he scored in the 4th position, round of 8 driver, Timmy Brown in the 8, just made a big move to the outside there, that white and blue, number 8 Ford F-150, he scored in 5th, or he was, but now Trey Hollywood in the 40 and Josh Colin-Diaz in the 23, they both go to the inside to complete that pass. Timmy Brown left the door open, and whoa, a little bit of contact was made there with the 20 of Jackson Stotts. Jackson now drops down to the apron to let the other group of trucks go by, and that was being led by Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51. Round of 8 contender, the 51 and the 88, and they lead this third group here. These are all positions in the top 10 except for the back 2 trucks that you're watching here in this 5-truck pack, and they're working pretty good together. They might be able to catch the front group. Until that, anyways, we have a caution. Looks like the 22 of Tanner Swaley might slam the brakes or something in turns 3 and 4 right in front of rumble strips in the 44. And that changes everything. A lot of these drivers, I believe, were trying to save. And yeah, I don't know what was up with that. The 22 who just slowed down abruptly out of nowhere. Rumble strip in the 44 was the truck behind him, and he didn't have any place to go. I don't know if that was maybe a connection issue or if that was him hitting the brakes because he was angry about something. Like, I really don't know. That was bizarre. But nevertheless, the caution is out, and we have, how many laps do we have left?
Less than 12.
Have, I think, 8 to go on the restart.
Oh, man.
8 to go on the restart.
Yeah, we're going to have about 8 laps remaining, folks, says Alex and Cameron. This is going to be huge. This is going to be crazy. Beam SKP took 2 tires on that last pit stop. I don't know what he did here, but he's got the lead. He might be able to hold on here, but there's so many round of 8 championship contenders up there. It might be best for Alex Tesdall to push him by the 17 and then try to take the lead on the outside, but we'll find out what happens here. The green flag has been shown. Under 10 laps to go in the Sugar Dega 250 at Talladega. Second race in the round of 8, and we'll find out after Martinsville tonight who makes the final 4. A win locks you in, and none of the drivers in the round of 8 are locked in at this point because the show was stolen at the Charlotte Roval by Ayrton Frederick. Excuse me, I think a Motormaster Series. Nevertheless, the show was stolen by a non-playoff driver, and therefore all 8 of these drivers have their work cut out for them, and that includes the regular season champion Nick Donfrancesco, though he is relatively safe coming in to tonight's race. 50-point advantage above that cut line. Beam is the leader at the line. I believe we have 7 laps remaining.
7. Yep.
And this is good stuff. Whoa, the 74 got a little bit out of shape there, deeper in the field. He saves it. He gathers it back up. No caution. He loses the draft with the lead group, but we stay green. Speaking of green, Jordan Green, the 6-time NASCAR champion, that latest caution really saved him. He's back up there, and in this lead group, he's on the lead lap. We have a crash really deep in the field, by the way. It looks like it's the 22 and the 74. Yeah, it was Tanner Swaley in the 22 and Bo in the 74. I didn't see exactly what sparked it, but they were really out of control and they had a tough time getting their trucks fired up and going again. But they are going again, and we are green. There's Armstrong and there's Bo. They have lost the draft with this lead group and they're wrecking up here. Yes, we do. Scorpion in the 52 bounced off another truck. We stay green, but a couple of trucks lost the draft. There's Nick Don Francesco getting out of shape and slides up into the side of the 44 of Rumble Strip. And the 20 is going to go down and go with the 24. The 20 driven by Jackson Stotts. And that's a heartbreaker for Josh Colm-Diaz in the 23 and Scorpion in the 52. They lose the draft with the lead group, and so does round of 8 contender Jeffrey Robinson Jr. Comes into this race 3 points below the final 4 cut line as of now. Before the race ends, he's 10 points below that final 4 cut line. So he's got his work cut out for him heading into Martinsville if all holds station and if they were finishing the race this time by.
5 to go.
5 to go. It's gonna get antsy.
Yes, it is, and we have a few less players up here in this league group. It's kind of thinned out a bit ever since that latest incident on the racetrack. Some of these drivers not in contention and not in this league group to get up there and challenge for the race lead. Timmy Brown in the 8 truck, one of the round of 8 contenders, is fading out of the draft with this league group, but if they get to racing again, he might be able to get to him, but I don't know. Never mind, he's pulled right back to the tailgate of this group again. And you know that Jordan Roughton and Trey Hollywood are going to work together. There they go to the outside, and they're looking for the race lead. Brett Baker went to the bottom of Alex Tesdahl. They're 3 wide going into turn 1 with 4 laps to go. There's a crash around when Alex Tesdahl, around when Cameron Norton.
Awesome.
And we have a caution. And who's the leader?
It is Beam.
Okay.
Beam, I think, yeah.
So we're going to restart with 2 laps to go, folks. We're going to have a good old-fashioned green-white checkered. A wild crash there. They went battling for the lead 3 wide, and it resulted in a crash between Cameron Norton, Alex Tesdahl, and a few others. And we have a caution on the racetrack, and this is going to set up for what might be the most exciting finish all season long. And imagine the territory that takes in. Like, we've had some unbelievable finishes this season for the wins, for the stage wins, side by side, people blowing tires on the last lap coming out of turn 4. That happened twice, but actually. Like, we've seen it all on these finishes. This is going to be something. 2 laps to go, and there's a lot on the line. A win gets you in to the final 4. Who's it going to be? Beam SKP, Jordan Roughton, Brett Baker, the top 3 are round of 8 contenders. In fact, 5 of the top 6 round of 8 contenders. And keep your eye on those drivers. Here we go. 2 laps to go. The green flag has been shown. The 2021 NASCAR Platinum Cup Series Daytona 500 winner Brett Baker is up into 3rd. He's a great super speedway driver. He knows exactly how to push someone and draft with someone. And he just pushed the 16 by Jordan Roughton to the lead. Some contact made there. They're all still okay. Scorpion's trying to get back onto the racetrack. Oh, Alex Tesdahl got forced off the racetrack by somebody. There was contact made there. I didn't see who it was. And I think we're still green here. Cameron Norton in the 3 is battling to the inside of Jesse Carlson. He couldn't quite get there, and we have a caution yet again. So we're going to rack them up again. They did not take the overtime line, I don't believe. Or is it over?
It's under caution.
Whew. So we're going to line them up again. This is crazy. This is amazing. Good action all around here. And so now the front row is going to be Beam in the 16 and Brett Baker in the 2. Whew. I don't know if my voice is going to hold for much longer, boys. We've got 4 drivers that are round of 8 contenders in the top 6, 5 in the top 7. This also brings Jeffrey.
Not where I want to start.
This brings Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 51 back into the picture. Here we go. The green flag has been shown. 2 laps to go. Green-white checkered style. Brett Baker does a masterful job getting to the inside line after restarting up there on the outside line on the front row. They're stacking up a little bit here as they go through 1 and 2. Hopefully they are able to clear it up and be careful. You can't win the race if you're crashing every corner. There's still contact made. It looks like Trey Hollywood in the 22 truck. They both just went down all the way into the inside wall, and man, that was a moment there. Trey in the 40 doing a little bit of aggressive driving there. I don't know if that was too called for or not. And back up towards the front, they're coming out of turn 4 to take the white flag this time by Timmy Brown, and the 8 truck got a little bit out of shape there, and now he's to the inside of Cameron Norton. Brett Baker is lifting to try to get a big run on the 16 truck as they head into turn 1.
White flag.
White flag is out. A win locks you in, and right now, 3 drivers in the top 3 in the round of 8. Beam in the 16, the full-time driver from France. Brett Baker in the 2. Jesse Carlson in the 88. They were working together there for a moment. Brett Baker caught the 16, but he wasn't able to get around him. Cameron Norton with a power move to the outside, trying to make it work. Beam has the perfect line right now. Nobody challenging him anytime soon as they come out of turn 4. Just needs to watch the 2 and maybe hold the bottom. It's going to be interesting through the final straightaway. Brett Baker tried to force it in, but there was not enough room. Beam SKP wins the Sugar Dega 250 and advances to the final 4. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Oh my goodness. And he kind of needed it, folks. He didn't get a single stage point all race long. He still would have been above the cut line heading into Martinsville without the win, and if you say got a top 5 or something, but what a win for him. He doesn't have to worry about Martinsville. He is locked in to the final 4. Don't forget to take pictures of the results, Alex. All 23. Jesse Carlson's going to get 2nd. Cameron Norton's going to get 3rd. Dogman in his debut. Oh, okay, Dogman in his debut is going to crack the top 5. Timmy Brown in the 8 truck came into tonight only 8 points below the cut line, and he gets a top 5 finish, I believe. It was a wild race all around, but it was a wild finish at the end as well. Great job by all 23 of these drivers. A lot of pressure on all of them coming into tonight's 2 races to make the final 4, and I salute them all for doing a fantastic job of keeping their composure, battling the way that they did. 2, 3, and 4 wide for the wins and the stage wins and for the lead. Fantastic driving by all 23 of these drivers. And at the end of the day, it was Beam SKP for Rockstar Racing, winning the pole, winning the race, and locking himself into the final 4. Whew. Like I said, what a race and what a finish. I can't believe what we witnessed. Let's throw it down to the M-Race reporter, Cameron Norton, the driver of the 3. Cameron, you finished in 4th. Take us through your race. Tell us how you were able to pull off a top 5 finish.
We just had to create our runs. I mean, we got kind of chop blocked by the 88. It is what it is. I mean, we had to create our own runs. We had to do what we had to do. It's just hard, you know. We come so close to Talladega every time. Still can't figure it out, but we'll get it. Off to Martinsville we go.
You led a lot of laps in this one. You were up there in the top 5 for this one, and there was some strategy going on a lot in the final stage. What was going through your mind for those restarts? What steps were you taking to get track position and get up there?
It's just the draft, honestly, and figuring out what position the cars are in and what pit strategies they do. We went with 4 tires, and we just stayed in the draft, and then the caution came out, played in our favor, and we just tried. We did all we could. We're just kind of bummed out on that one.
Well, congratulations on your top 5 finish, and good luck to you at Martinsville and Phoenix.
Thank you, thank you.
and we're going to see if Beam would like to do a post-race interview. He speaks French primarily, folks, so I'm not sure if he's never done one of our post-race interviews. Let's see if we can make it happen. Let's call him in here. All right, folks, it was worth a shot. I didn't know if we were going to hear from Beam or not. Again, folks, he's the only full-time driver out of France here running in the NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series. We have two drivers out of France running here, one part-time, one full-time. And Beam has never done one of these post-race interviews with us, though he has finished in the top three a couple of different times, and he won the Brickyard 150 earlier this season at the Indy Roval here in the NASCAR Tailgate Truck Series. So I sent the invitation. I think he's declining the interview, and he's probably preparing for the Martinsville race coming up here soon. So congratulations to Beam and the entire Rockstar Racing number 16 team. Locked into the Final Four, and he's going to go and battle for a championship next week at Phoenix. Let's quickly throw it over to the driver of the number 98, Alex Tesdall. Alex, sum up your race for us. Where did you finish, and what happened there in the late laps? You had such good track position until whatever happened.
Yeah, run up in the top 5 the whole race and get amazing stage points just to have it all stripped away because the 17 doesn't know how to hold a line. Great race.
Where did you end up finishing, and what are your goals for Martinsville later tonight?
Ended up 15th, and I guess just go try to pick up more points.
Absolutely. We'll give you an update on the points at the top of the broadcast for Martinsville for the viewers, and we'll let the drivers know before that, of course, before they hit the track for qualifying. Good luck to you at Martinsville, and better luck next time, brother.
Thanks.
And thank you to everybody who tuned in for the show. It's been the Sugar Dega 250 here at Talladega Superspeedway. The second race in the round of 8 for the playoffs is in the history books here on NASCAR Heat 5. Beam SKP, the driver of the 16 truck, advances to the Final Four next week at Phoenix. So don't miss it. We very well might have the very first ever French-born NASCAR champion next Tuesday right here on the NASCAR Series Racing YouTube channel at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as for now, folks, we're going to end the broadcast, and we're going to start up the Martinsville broadcast probably at around 9:35 to 9:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you would like to see some more non-stop wild action here from these truck drivers in the playoffs from the half-mile paperclip known as Martinsville Speedway, come on out and check it out here in just about a half hour from now. Thank you to everyone who tuned in, and stay fast, folks.